Welcome to BaldHeaded Metal, guys. My name is Joseph. Today I want to introduce a very special guest from the band Aetherian, which is a melodic death metal band that comes from Athens, Greece. And they've been active since 2013. They have one EP, Tales of Our Times, and a full-length album, The Untamed Wilderness, with an absolutely kick-ass new single, Primordial Woods, which is the first song I ever got to check out. And I absolutely loved it. It came out in January. I highly recommend for you guys to check out that single. And let me know down below what you think of it yourself. I would like to introduce Panos. Welcome to the interview. Welcome to the show, man. How are you doing today?
Hey man, I'm cool. I'm cool. How are you?
I'm good. I couldn't be happier. I recently started this channel only just doing like reactions to music, and very quickly I realized, even just from the fans, like, you should talk to some of these guys. You should talk to some metalheads
Yeah,
out there. Everybody's very welcome to chat about heavy metal, something that we all grew up with and we love.
yeah, man. Of course. I mean, it's part of what we do, man. Mostly we're fans, and then we are musicians, you know.
I originally came from Russia myself, so we were fans in Russia since I was a little kid. Then we came here. We started discovering obviously all the heavy metal. In Russia, it wasn't allowed. It was banned. It was a socialist regime. You couldn't listen to heavy
Yeah,
metal.
but there was a huge live show with Pantera and Metallica
Of course,
back in the day, like
back
a
in
billion
the
people.
Monsters of Rock in
Yeah,
1991, I believe it was
exactly.
1.7 million people in Russia that came out for the concert. No, they're definitely, Russians are huge metalheads, and we love metal. As a matter of fact, I've been kind of curating heavy metal from around the world.
Mhm.
Despite living in New York City, you get such a different flavor from every different country that
Yes,
puts their own spin, their own culture, right? Their own uh, uh, interest, like, in throughout the music, whether it be from Asia, Middle East, Europe, everywhere.
exactly. That's something that, as time goes by, it happens more and more. And from its from its different country, metal bands add their own elements, and according to their social situation in every city, every country, and also traditional music. You know, it's something that it's been done a lot lately.
Well, in general, I think Greece is known for quite, I would say, like a ripe scene for heavy metal. Riding Christ, I love Riding Christ. Septic
Man.
Flesh, there's like Varathon, Suicide Angels, Firewind. How would you say overall the scene in Greece is for you, from the perspective of a person who's there and doing it themselves?
Man, there are a lot of metal fans here, a lot of metal heads, and a lot of very, uh, how do you say, hardcore ones. Let's say they
Hardcore.
listen to only metal shows, from heavy, traditional heavy metal to
Yeah,
death metal, black metal, everything, man. And
yeah.
work at the bar. So every night people come, and because we listen to metal and our friends listen too, so all the time you get people talking about, Maiden is new, the new Maiden album is like this, and Metallica is like this, and you hear all the time talking about that again and again, and it's amazing to see that people don't get bored. They really
Yeah.
love this genre, they really love this music. It's uh it's you know it's really nice for me growing up in Greece, in Athens, and having other people that listen to the same music going together to live shows. And because uh, some years ago there were not that many live shows, like when I was a
Mm.
little, but then they started, other bands other than the huge ones.
Huge
Okay,
ones. Yeah, yeah.
more underground bands starting coming, visiting Greece in small live shows, small gigs, and it was pretty amazing. Another thing that happened was the Greek crisis. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because things were difficult, many people turned to metal music for as a way to express themselves and let the steam out,
Of
and all
course.
the things that build up inside. You went to a live show and you let everything out, and that's why at the same time at this period there was a lot of thrash metal in Greece, like a lot of thrash metal bands. It was
Oh yeah, it was thrash metal in general is very politically infused and charged
Mhm.
music, right? Sepultura, Creator, all these kind of bands. They came hard with their music. And I interviewed another band from Germany, Bloodspot, and
Mhm.
his criticism of Germany was that they've gotten a little soft with having a message in their music. And he believed a lot of bands kind of conform now and just want to kind of sidestep it. And it's like in Germany in general, it kind of became a country that was known for very strong messages before, like Creator. They kind of calmed down, and that's what he doesn't like. He didn't like it there.
Yes, in metal music in general, I think many bands trying to be like neutral about things.
Yeah.
It's a perspective. It's a way of perspective. For me, I like when a band has a message to to send to you. Like you listen to the music, you love the music, you love the vocals, the lyrics, everything. And when this comes together with a big message and something that has an impact in society and in yourself, it's something that stays more with you. Let's say, like for me, Gojira. Let's say
Gojira,
huge band, man, and they just doing things and apart from the music. And you're like, okay, these guys are nailed it. They're awesome.
And you know what? When I was listening to you, I like discovering bands that have only a couple albums and they're growing, because I like growing with them. I like seeing how they progress and how they introduce new albums. And when I first heard your band, I right away heard like a very clear direction. I would say personally, I see a lot of newer bands. You can see they're experimenting still and trying to find like a sound. But when I was hearing you, I thought you sound very refined. You had a lot of purpose in the music. And I actually found it to have a beautiful and at the same time very aggressive moments. And you kind of balanced, I think, heavy and melodic quite well. And I was actually re-listening to the album yesterday to kind of remind myself. And like songs like Black Sails, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. And even since I started the channel, I can't tell you how many fans came out in like, you need to react to Aetherian. You need to do more of them. You need to listen to the album, even if it's not on your channel. I can't tell how many people actually came out in waves recommending, because I started doing a lot of Finnish bands, like Finnish melodic bands. It's like, you should check these guys out.
Yeah, man, Finnish melodic death metal and Finnish metal in general. It's a big influence for us, bands like Insomnium and Amorphis, Omnium Gatherum, the bands that we like a lot. And when we started, also Swedish, like Amon Amarth and At the Gates, In Flames, Dark Tranquility, all these bands we grew up with them. So we want to play like them,
Like them, yeah. I would even say, what I was going to ask you actually before kind of combine it with the kind of music you write is, has being from Greece affected in any kind of way how you write your music and how you think about your music and how you kind of produce it? Because I feel like being in a different part of the world, in different countries, it affects the way you write your music.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yes. For us, the Greek theme, let's say, is that sometimes we use melodies that are from traditional Greek music, and we play them on guitar. So we don't have folk instruments, but sometimes the rhythm and the melodies are influenced by traditional music. So Primordial Woods, let's say, it's based on a traditional rhythm, and I think pretty much that's the way it goes. I mean, we have some Greek words, like in the new single Primordial Woods, Archegonadasi, and this is something that maybe it's gonna come back, because some words, in English, Greek, Russian, they don't have exact translation to the other language. So we like using the meaning, the true meaning of the word.
Yes.
And this is something that we really like. I mean, when we listen to Swedish death metal, let's say, and some Swedish pops up and he sings in Swedish, the vocalist, we like it, man. We like it. It's nice to see that they're adding something different from their own place, Apart from that, Greece is a very sunny country and we get a lot of heat here. Summer is hot, but we like winter. It's not that cold here, and when it is cold, we really like it. And so I think that's something that we drew inspiration from the mountains and the snow and the north in general. Right. So because we listen to also Scandinavian music,
of course.
But also there is a lot of melancholy in Greek traditional music. So the whole melodic death metal, which tends to be a little melancholic sometimes, it has pretty much base here, because there is also a band, let's say, Authors I'll, which has they released an album called Aegean Sorrow. Aegean is the sea that it's in the center of Greece, okay?
Yeah.
And there are many islands there, and isolated, harsh to live there. So Aegean Sorrow, it's something that describes this place.
Yeah. I think in general, well, first of all, Greece, it's a country with, thousands and thousands of years of culture, just even from that, and being, I think, in Europe, surrounded by all these other countries. Like, for example, I think United States does have an interesting heavy metal scene, but when it comes to especially something like melodic death metal, it's Europe. That's the place you go to for that kind of music. I think American influences come from different, like the Bay Area thrash and some death metal from Florida, where it be it's from the South. They have their own, I think, things that they bring, death and like all these kinds of other bands. But I think Europe has a very distinct sound, to me at least, and especially being a Russian person, which in Russia the scene is not very big right now. It's despite being a huge country, it's being kind of pressed down by the government. It's not the popular music to play at all. It's hard to play shows there, so it seems like it's hard for Russians. But for when I see European, I just see so many great bands. Sometimes it's almost overwhelming to even get into that kind of whole sphere. Even
man, that's true. And there's even bands that came from little villages. Like there is a small village with 5 people that listen to metal, and these 5 people form a band.
I've discovered one from India, Cryptos, which is like an Iron Maiden, very Iron Maiden-esque sound from India, from some small town out of nowhere. I don't know how I discovered them. Where did I find them? And I think it's the beautiful thing now. We're so interconnected as a community. I can find you guys very easily by just searching a different country, just because I want something different. It's so much easier than when it was in the 80s.
Exactly. The internet and the social media, this is a good use for them, because just you record your music, you are in the middle of nowhere, let's say.
Yeah.
You just have your PC, your laptop, you upload it, and then everyone can see it. It's that's an amazing thing, I think, of our times.
I remember even watching documentaries where Sepultura would say, it's like, we didn't, the only way we could listen to what other bands were doing is we would record a cassette tape, send it over to Germany to Creator would send the tape to us. Yeah. It's like, oh shit, these guys in Germany are doing this. It was a really nice exchange as well. But I think for especially newer bands and even veteran bands, anybody, it's such a great tool now to be able to share with your fans directly and not have all these intermediaries trying to get in the way, that you can really just get directly to your fans and have them enjoy your music.
Exactly.
And I want to see another one I was going to tell you. You mentioned a lot of Finnish, obviously, bands that you guys have inspired. I actually automatically heard it in the music as well. I heard the inspiration, but I would even say something else. As I listened from the first EP to the album to Primordial Woods, I also sense like an evolution in the band, and you guys going from what you were inspired to almost where it's like this is becoming a uniquely Aetherian sound. And I think with each album, with each element, I think the more comfortable you get writing music, and I think just a natural progression of the band, I've heard a lot of progression within your music.
Yeah, I think that because we were not afraid we were not trying to be unique, let's say, in the beginning. We say, this is what we like, this is what we're going to play. And because we didn't force ourselves to write music differently, this came out naturally. To write more, like I can't say unique, but in a way that passes through our personal filters.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think right now with Primordial Woods and with the second album that it's coming soon, the Aetherian sound is more, more right there, like distinctive.
Distinctive, yeah. And I like from the beginning when I was listening to it, because I listened to you guys had like a Q&A and then a conversation on your Facebook page. I actually didn't see it with a lot of these questions. It's just I naturally was able to sense some of these things, which I think it speaks to the music. when you're able to see these things, the inspirations, and a very, very strong connection to nature, which I've right away saw in the lyrics, and kind of the love for nature and in your music. And I thought it'd be a very strong influence for your band. And I wanted to ask you kind of how did that come about? Is it because you kind of lived in a more rural setting? Is it just, I don't know, where did that come from, the whole idea? And kind of another thing that relates to it, I was going to ask you is, where do you find inspiration to write the music?
Yes, mostly that I will speak personally because I write the lyrics. So, of course, all the band altogether, we are very environmentally aware. But I'll speak personally right now. I think that since I was a little kid, I always felt a connection with the forest and the trees and dirt, the soil, everything, you know. And I grew up in Athens, but I were going to a village in southern Greece, where we originally come from before we came to Athens. And I spent there a lot of my childhood days. And just, you know, be away from screens and big structures and roads and cars and everything. I think it's something that speaks to every child, every kid. So as I was growing up, this thing remained, of course, and I always felt more connected with you know, the outside, how do you say, not the city, the rural areas.
The rural, yeah.
Suburban. And since we live in Athens and it's a big city, 5 million people, half of Greece lives here, and it's very crowded, very loud, very noisy, very, you know, it's nature is a way out, you know, of that mess. So this is one part, like the connection and the, you know, the feeling that you get when you are in a place with animals and trees and away from civilization, let's say. And the other thing is that as the years go, we as a humanity, we're just making things worse for our planet. I mean, there've been warnings since the 70s, the 80s, I don't know, but we didn't stop doing what we are doing, and we can see it now. Right there, it's right there, the problems that we have caused to the planet. And so, let's say in Greece, we have a huge problem with forest fires. Every summer, Greece burns. And this is a thing that you can say it's a natural disaster, but it happens in such a large degree that it is something to, you know, it's not normal, let's say. Especially this year, I mean, half of Greece burned like to the ground. It's
really sad.
Terrible. It's terrible. So, and imagine that not only in Greece. I mean, the rising temperatures in every place in the world causes lots of forest fires that were not used to them some time ago.
We even had it California. The fires were so bad in California. It went, the smoke went all over to New York, which is completely across the whole country.
Exactly. It's a huge problem. So let's say that when you write lyrics, you want to get something out, a message. For me personally, some people write stories, some people write things that from their own perspective. Some people write things that you know, they see, they hear, they are, and. Yeah, I think the environmental issue is something that concerns us a lot. So it naturally takes a big part of the lyrics. Even if the song is not about environmental destruction, you can see some metaphors from nature, let's say, also in Dark Earth and in Black Sails, that you see, that you read lyrics that have images of forests and lakes and rivers and stuff, to compare them to feelings. Let's say when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling happy, and the river, let's say it's a cleansing feeling, or the rain, a cleansing feeling that comes and soothes your soul.
I would almost say it's very poetic. You know, you use like the whole nature element and everything. It becomes very, very poetic. And I think I would say it adds an extra layer to the music with any band that does it. You know, it's like, because there's some bands I'm sure you listen to that I love. They'll be too focused on satanic messages, or some thrash metal bands just kind of don't really take their lyrics seriously. And I love those bands, but I can tell you personally, which it seems like we agree on that, when you hear a band that just says, you don't always have to agree with what they say, but just because they put their heart and soul into their lyrics, into what they want to say, there's a different level of appreciation for them, I think, right away.
Exactly, it's different things, you know. Sometimes you want to you want to hear about decapitations and splatter things. Sometimes you want something else. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, it's like I remember Cannibal Corpse when they were releasing their albums. They're like, oh no, we weren't trying to be controversial. We just wanted to piss off as many people as we could and see.
Yeah, writing horror stories and stuff.
Yeah, it's like we didn't want to scare people. Like we just want to scare the shit out of people and see how many countries we could get banned in. No, of course. I think it's a balance of everything. You come for different bands for different things. I think as a fan, you come for different bands and different things. And I agree with you that this connection with nature. I've lived in New York now 25 years, so in some ways I've become even disconnected. But I did grow up in a small town in the southern Caucasus of Russia, you know, with the Caucasus Mountains right outside our house. It was a different feeling when you were there versus New York, where it's just an urban jungle.
Yeah, man, exactly.
No, I definitely got that connection. I just also want to, as a matter of fact, I thought Primordial Woods, you know, the people often make fun of lyrical videos. Like, oh, why even release a video if it's lyrical? Just put lyrics, so you don't need that. I thought Primordial Woods was actually quite beautiful, and I only added to the music because it gave really, really nice imagery to the whatever you were thinking about. And in the vocals and the music, it just, I think, added everything together. I think that's why I responded to it very, very well. And that, I'm just like you, I love the nature aspect of it.
Yes, exactly. We worked a lot on the video, so to be as good as it can be, I wanted the video to be the message, to see the images, to read the lyrics, to hear the music, to get the whole thing around. So yes, I mean, I think that's what videos are all about, to give an extra layer of of things to see also, other than just listen to.
I would even I would harshly criticize other bands where I would say heavy metal is not known for very good music videos now. I think 80s and 90s they had some really good music videos. Anthrax, Madhouse, and Iron Maiden used to have really good music videos, and it looks like nowadays there's a lot of reliance on CG and what seems like let's just put out a music video to put out a music video.
Yes, this is a thing that I think the first is low budget. I mean, most metal bands don't have that much money to do something, you know, larger than that.
Yeah.
And the other is that sometimes you just want to create a music video just for the advertisement purposes, just for that you have a video. And maybe the band is not ready for that, or maybe it wasn't that good, you know. But you need to do it, because if you don't have a music video, people will not, will not attract that many people to your music, let's say.
Well, you know who captured me with their, I think they're probably some of the best music, Behemoth.
Okay, Behemoth have their amazing videos.
Yeah, they're really, really good music videos all the time, and I agree with you. It's a nice attraction for me. Personally, I'm like people criticize me on the channel for this all the time. I have like a way of the way I interpret music. First, like I don't need to know anything about the band. I don't want to know the history. I just want to hear the music, unfiltered, untamed, nothing. Like let me just see the first initial emotional reaction, and if I get attracted to that, then I want to know all the lyrics. I want to know all the lyrics. I want to know everything about them. If I like that, then I want to research everything about them, because then it's like this thing's like now I know everything about these people, where they come from, what they do, and I try to find so much more about you guys, but you know, it's like there's limited information I was able to extract from Facebook. But once I heard Greece, I can't tell you how many people think I'm either Turkish or Greek. Just like based on like the nose and especially like the eyebrows. Like, well, I mean, being I'm Middle Eastern Jewish, you know, I have some of that Mediterranean blood in there. So it's like it's there's some
Maybe
likenesses.
some ancestor of yours originated from that place.
Exactly, and of course the Russian language is based on the Greek alphabet.
Yeah, not the language, the alphabet only.
Yeah. And then I was also asking, you mentioned Primordial Woods, you mentioned the new album. Can you give any hint for your fans? When can they expect something new? When can we hear maybe another single or something in the works?
Yes, I'll say this. We had scheduled to enter the studio. The album is ready. Okay, we were scheduled to enter the studio a year and a half ago, just before COVID. We're going to do a Balkan tour, which was cancelled due to COVID.
Yeah.
And after the tour, we're going to hit the studio. So this plan all get trash can. So so a year and a half has passed, and now finally the studios are open. We have time for that. Since everyone's vaccinated and stuff. I mean, still we have got to wear masks and everything, but it's safer than before. So the studios are open, and we're gonna hit the studio like November.
Start recording. That's awesome.
Yes, start recording.
That's awesome. And you mentioned the Balkan tour. I'm guessing you guys probably more around the Mediterranean, European regions is where you tour for now, right?
Yes, it's easier because it's closer to us. I mean, you start with a van from your city, and then you work your way. I mean, Greece is in a difficult position because it's in the end of Europe. So if you want to go to other places, we travel a long way. But it's good because you rent a van at your city or from another city, and then you work your way, and you get down again.
I don't think a lot of people realize. I'll see some negative comments on certain bands, or kind of like this. They can like, oh, why are they not here? Why are they not coming to this country? I'm like, do you know how hard it is for heavy metal bands to travel around like to all these countries and everything? Not everybody can fly their own plane like Iron Maiden.
Exactly. That's convenient.
Yeah, exactly. I stopped completely since I was like maybe 20 ever saying anything negative about, even if I don't like a band. I stopped saying negative things because like I don't think people realize how hard it is to produce music, release it, get people to hear your music. It's not pop music that some producer's gonna push on every single channel on radio. Like heavy metal has this, I think it still has its rawness, and it still has its harshness to it, that it's still an outsider music. It always maintained that that's this outsider music, and that's what attracted to me always. It's pure, and because of that, it's not, it's harder to make it. It's like I see bands for 10 years until they get that momentum that they need to kind of really get out there. And I'm always like,
it right.
I'm always like cheering everybody on. I was like, oh man, I hope they come to the United States because I'll come out. And I honestly, I wish for the same for you guys. I hope to see you here in United States.
And we get so many people telling us visit this country, visit that country, and especially from the States, a lot of people. But United States is difficult because you have an ocean between us.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard. But if we come to United States, we will not come for 2 or 3 live shows, man. We need to come for a lot, like 20, 30, like to be a big tour.
It has to make sense, yeah.
Exactly. And the thing about is that because of course we don't earn that much money from our music, we all work regular jobs, let's say. So it's difficult for you to leave your job for a whole month to go do something else. So we all wait for the right time when it has bigger it makes sense to do it. Like not okay, let's go right now. Let's go right now, travel the whole world across, and let's play. Okay.
Yeah.
It's something that people do also. Other bands do that, and I really, fuck yeah. But it's difficult, man. It's difficult. So for us, we wait for the right time for the album to come out, the second album, and when it's released, we plan to do a lot of shows, because these past years we played, but we didn't play abroad as much as we would like. I mean, we don't have that much lives on our lives played. So when the second album is released, we plan on doing a huge European tour, and to Russia also, the United States. We'll see, but it's all the thing. It's in the bucket list. Okay, we'll wait for it to be done.
honestly, I don't see it not happening for you, just from what I've heard from your music. And it's not just praising you. Like, there's some bands you can hear. There's not a lot going on. Like, I've had bands that I've reacted to, and I felt so bad to even release the video. I'm like, I don't want to release it and just like shit on the band for 5 minutes. And I'm still like respectful when I say it, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't think they're gonna make it. It's like, I don't want to be that negative person, so I'm not gonna release it. I think you guys have. It's just literally a matter of time. Literally a matter of time when enough people just hear it and it clicks. And I think social media has been a big contributing factor with people recommending to react to it, or they discover you on YouTube and all these kinds of places to really discover. I think it's at a certain point it's just going to hit for you, and you're going to be among these guys like Insomnium. I don't see why not. You're going to be among Insomnium, Bellacore, and all these other guys touring around the world.
Thank you, man. We hope so. That's what we fight for anyway.
And I was gonna say, dude, is there anything in particular you want to know, like maybe when your tour is gonna start? Anything you would want to say to your fans? Anything of the sort on this channel? You please can say anything you'd like at promoting.
Hey, right now I cannot say that many things, because when the time is right, we're gonna make official posts on our page, to be more of a plant. So right now it will be just words here and there. So
be on the lookout. Be on the lookout soon, right?
Exactly. Just check out our Facebook page or our website, whatever. We have everything that you need to know. We will say when time is right. What I can say is that we are entering the studio in November, and we're gonna have lots of videos from it. Studio diaries and everything. We're gonna be active at that point, so people can see the process of how we create music, how we are also as people. And this is we're gonna have a friend of ours with a camera that makes videos to be all the time with us, like not like a reality, but
yeah, like a documentary of you creating the album.
The documentary, yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, that's awesome. I can tell you will have a marketing person now in New York, because my thing has always been, if I like something, I need everybody to know that I know that likes heavy metal music. I need to show it to everybody. That's kind of my personality. So I'm like shoving it down my brother's throat. I'm shoving it down everybody's like, you have to check this band out. Go. I've always been that person, because like I feel like in the music that's already hard to promote, the one thing I can do is spread the message as much as I can. So I will be spreading the Aetherian message in New York.
Thank you, man. We really appreciate that.
Well, thank you for coming out. Thank you for doing this small interview. Like I said, you have a fan now. I'll be waiting actually for more. I'll try to react to any song you guys come out to, and let you guys know every time I do it. Thank you for talking. Thank you for taking some time out of your day. Thank you,
man. It's a pleasure. Anytime you want, I just open my laptop, put my headphones, and we can do it again. It's pretty easy.
And it'll be even more awesome to be in Greece and see you guys, which I plan on coming to Greece very soon. It's such a beautiful country with so much history. I need to come there.
Man, if you visit Greece, you need to contact us, man, to meet in person.
Thank you, man. You have a good one, okay?
So thanks a lot, man.
Take care.
See you again.